Welcome to our English class. Today we will start our new lesson, lesson 15, Childhood by Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, let's start our lesson. Luxury was a thing almost unknown in the days of my infancy. Luxury means the enjoyment of expensive and beautiful things, and infancy means young child or the time when we are baby or young. Child means small. Thus, now the luxury was a thing almost unknown in the days of my young days. Okay, so that small children does not care about luxury things means expensive or beautiful things. The standard of living was then, as a whole, much more simple than it is now. So now the standard, the lifestyle now is not very much high. On that time it is very simple living being or lifestyle was going on. Apart from that, the children of our household were entirely free from the fuss of being too much looked after. Fuss means unnecessary or excessive concern. So at that time the children were free from the foundations. Okay, that nowadays what happened, parents are much concerned about their children, but on that time that was not the deal. We used to be under the rule of the servants. Okay, now they are under the control of the servants. To save themselves from the trouble, they had almost suppressed our right of free movement. Now parents don't look after the children, but they are used to under the control of their servants. So servants, to save themselves from anything, any situation, what they do, they bound their children. Okay, so they suppressed means bounding their right of free movement, means they cannot go here and there, play anywhere they want. But the freedom of not being petted made up even for the harshness of this bondage. Petted means cherish, okay, not pet. And bondage means slavery. So, but the freedom of not being loving made up even for the harshness of this bondage because of that slavery. For our minds were left clear for the toils of constant. Toils means work very hard. Clear toils of constant coddling means pampering and dressing up. Okay, but the freedom of not being petted up even for the harshness of this bondage, for our minds were left clear for the toils of constant coddling, pampering and dressing up. So they were not very much concerned about those things. Now our food had nothing to do with delicacies means specialty. Anything they get, they eat. A list of our articles of clothing would only invite the modern boy's scorn. Okay, so a list of our articles of clothing would only invite the modern baby's scorn, boy's scorn, means they only they don't even care about the clothing. They only care about when they see a modern boy, like we are modern boy dressing up. Oh no, pretext. Did we wear socks or shoes till we had passed our 10th year? So Rabindranath Tagore was wondering that I don't know if we are wearing socks or shoes till they were in 10th standard. In the cold weather, a second cotton tunic over the first one sufficed. It never entered our heads to consider ourselves ill off for that reason. Okay. Now in cold weather, in winter season, what they do? A second cotton tunic over the first one sufficed. Now, a second cotton tunic over the first one. Okay, like first one is enough for the winters now. No need to wear so much of dresses. It never entered our heads to consider ourselves ill off. Ill off means that they are not getting it, not fortunate, means उन्हें बिल्कुल भी बुरा नहीं लगता था कि उन्हें कुछ दूसरा नहीं मिल रहा है. They are only happy in that only. For that reason, it was only when old Niyamat, the trailer, would forget to put a pocket into one of our tunics that we complained. Okay, कब वो complain करते थे? जब वो देखते थे कि एक टेलर जो था वो उनकी ड्रेस में पॉकेट नहीं बनाता था, तब उन्हें थोड़ा वो उसका कंप्लेन करते थे. फॉर नो बॉय हैज़ येट बीन born so poor as not to have the wherewithal to stuff his pockets. Wherewithal means money, means कोई भी बच्चा इतना भी पुअर नहीं था कि अपने ड्रेसेस में पॉकेट्स ना लगवा सके. वी यूज टू हैव अ पेयर ऑफ slippers each, means they were wearing slippers, but not always where we had our feet. हमेशा नहीं जहाँ भी वो जाते थे. We had a habit of kicking the slippers on head and catching them up again, means पैर से slippers को ऊपर फेंकना सर की तरफ और उसके बाद फिर मतलब same thing again. Our elders were in a every way at a great distance from us. Okay, now elders were at a great distance, they means थोड़ा दूर दूर पे रहते हैं. In their dress and food, living and doing, conversation and amusement, means distance from us in their dressing, fooding, living and doing, conversation and amusement, enjoyment. Okay, we caught glimpses of these, but they were beyond our reach. Means उन्हें अपने elders के रहन सहन के बारे में पता था, वो थोड़े different थे, but still what happened? उनकी पहुंच से दूर थे. Elders have become cheap to modern children. They are too readily accessible. Accessible means within approach, and so are all object of desire. Nothing ever came so easily to us. Means elders को चीज़ें जल्दी मिल जाती थी और हमें क्या होता था, बहुत लेट में हमारे लिए ईजी नहीं होता था. Many a trivial things were for us a rarity. We lived mostly in the hope of attaining it when we were old enough. Okay, क्योंकि they were small kids, so and they were in their childhood days. So what happened means the elders will get anything easily, but they can't, and now they desire that they will grow up, they will get it. The result was that what little we did get, we enjoyed the utmost. From skin to coat thing was thrown away. So whatever they get, they were very happy from that only. The modern child of a well-to-do family nibbles at only half the things he gets. The greater part of his world is wasted on him. Okay, the modern child means बहुत अच्छा करते हैं फैमिली वाले, मॉडर्न चाइल्ड वाले, but what happened? The only things they get, the half of the happiness, and the greater part of his world is wasted on him. Means he gets whatever he needs or don't need. Our days were spent in the servants' quarters in the southeast corner of the outer apartments. Now he was living in the outer apartments of the southeast corner, and he lives in the servant quarter. He stay there. One of our servants was Shyam, a dark chubby boy with curly locks. So one of their servant was Shyam, a dark chubby boy with curly locks. Now what happened? Actually they play, because servants look after them, so they spend their days in the servants quarter only. Okay, now one of their servant was Shyam, a dark chubby boy with curly locks, means his hair was so curly. He put me into a selected spot and tracing a chalk line all round, warned me with solemn face and uplifted finger of the perils of going beyond that ring. Okay, क्या होता था, वो एक सर्कल बना देता था, लाइन खींच देता था, और क्या होता था कि एक चौक से लाइन बना देता था कि उसके बाहर उसे नहीं जाना है, और सोलम फेस में सीरियस फेस के साथ बनाता था, और ही वॉज लाइक the Rabindranath Tagore was feeling very dangerous to cross that line. So, whether the threatened danger was material or spiritual, I never fully understood, but a great fear used to possess me. वो कहते हैं कि मुझे नहीं पता कि वो क्या चीज़ थी, लेकिन फिर भी मुझे एक डर रहता था कि why I had read in the Ramayana of tribulations of Sita for having left the ring drawn by Lakshmana, so I was afraid of it. Tribulations means troubles. So what happened, उनको याद था, मैंने रामायण में पढ़ा था कि लक्ष्मण ने, श्री लक्ष्मण जी ने भी एक लाइन खींची थी और सीता जी ने क्रॉस कर दिया था, तो उसकी वजह से वो बहुत ज़्यादा डर जाते थे और वो क्रॉस नहीं करते थे. जस्ट बिलो द विंडो ऑफ दिस रूम वॉज अ टैंक विद अ फ्लाइट ऑफ स्टेप्स लीडिंग डाउन इनटू द वाटर. You can see in the picture like this only. On its west bank along the garden well was an immense banyan tree, means very big banyan tree was beside there, along with that garden well, you can say. Ringed round as I was near this window, I would spend the whole day peering through the drawn Vittian shutters, gazing on this सीन एज ऑन अ पिक्चर बुक. यू कैन सी, जैसे हम लोग पिक्चर बुक में कोई चीज़ देखते हैं वैसे ही ये, यू कैन सी ही वॉज एट द विंडो एंड ही वॉज सीइंग व्हाट पीपल वर डूइंग. फ्रॉम अर्ली मॉर्निंग आवर नेबर्स would drop in one by one to have their bath. So their neighbors come and bath there every morning. I knew the time for each one to arrive. Okay. Now he knows the timing of everyone when they come to bath. One would stop his ears with his finger as he took his regular number of dips, after which he would depart. अच्छा, जाने से पहले क्या होता था, नाक बंद करके जैसे हम लोग रिवर्स में नहाते हैं, उसके बाद डिप कर देता खुद को बार बार. Another would not venture on a complete immersion but be content with only squeezing his wet towel repeatedly over his head. Venture means risk. So another would not risk on a complete immersion but be content with only squeezing his wet towel repeatedly over his head. A third would carefully drive the surface impurities away from him with a rapid play of his arms, and then on a sudden impulse take his plunge. There was one who jumped in from the top steps without any preliminaries at all. So what happened, he knows the time of everyone when they come, okay, and bath. So step by step बताते हैं कि एक आता है और डिप करता है, फिर नोज बंद करके और ईयर्स को क्लोज करके और डिप करता है पानी में. एंड अनदर वुड कम ऑन, would not risk on complete immersion but keep content and क्या करता है, अपने टॉवल से ही पोंछ लेने में वो थोड़ा अच्छा फील करता है. एंड थर्ड क्या करता है, अपने बॉडी का जो आर्म से पूरा वो था गंदगी खुद हटाता है. ड्राइव द सरफेस इम्प्योरिटीज अवे फ्रॉम हिम विथ अ रैपिड प्ले ऑफ हिज आर्म्स ऐसे चलाता है कि ज़्यादा जो गंदगी हो बॉडी पे वो हट जाए. एंड देन ऑन अ सडन इम्पल्स टेक हिज प्लंज. देयर वॉज वन हु जंप, और एक जो लास्ट वाला होता है वो क्या करता है, ऊपर से ही टॉप से पानी में कूद जाता है बिना ही किसी रिस्क के और आगे क्या होगा उसको सोचे. Another would walk slowly in step by step, muttering his morning prayers all the while. और जो दूसरा आता है वो क्या करता है कि धीरे धीरे आता है और अपनी मॉर्निंग प्रेयर्स करता रहता है. One was always in a hurry, hastening home as soon as he was through with his dip. और एक को बहुत जल्दी होती है कि नहा के तुरंत भागे. Another was in no sort of hurry at all, taking his bath leisurely, followed by a good rub down and change from wet bathing clothes into clean ones. And अगला जो क्या करता है वो आता है, उसको कोई जल्दी नहीं होती है नहाने की, आराम से नहाता है, rubbing his whole body and clothes, rubbing his whole body with clothes. Now, including a careful adjustment of the folds of his waistcloth, ending with a turn or two in the outer garden, and the gathering of flowers with which he would finally saunter. Saunter means to walk slowly, homewards, radiating the cool comfort of a refreshed body as he went. So now the enjoying of bathing. This would go on till it was past noon. दोपहर तक यही सिलसिला चलता रहता है. Then the bathing place would be deserted and become silent. Deserted means here. Then the bathing place would be deserted means now there was no one there. The pond becomes or the well becomes silent now. Only the ducks remained. Only the duck was there and paddling about after water snails or by preening their feathers the livelong day. So when ducks were there preening means cleaning their feathers lifelong the whole day they were doing like this. So this is the lesson by Rabindranath Tagore. Thank you class.